Let's look at this doctoral scholarship opportunity. The applications are open until the 30th of January 2026. You have enough time to apply for the scholarship. This is the overview of the scholarship. You can read at your own time. I've put the official link to the scholarship in the video description. And also in the video description, you'll find the link to join our community for masters and PhD applicants so that you can get support with your applications. Eligibility: the scholarship is available for two programs: PhD Politics and International Relations and PhD Quantitative and Computational Social Science. Continuing students are not eligible to apply. You should have a minimum of 3.6 GPA in a relevant master's degree. If you have not yet completed your master's degree, you are eligible to apply, but the award will be conditional if they give you the scholarship until you complete your master's. And then if you don't have a master's degree, the quality of your research proposal will be important. That means if you don't have a master's degree, you have to submit a very comprehensive research proposal. This is what the scholarship covers. You are eligible because it's also open to non-EU applicants. If you have any inquiries, you can send an email to this email address. There is a application form that you need to fill out below, and then there are required documents. There's a list of required documents. We'll go through them. If you submit an incomplete application, unfortunately, you will not be considered for the scholarship. First of all, you need to submit a cover letter stating why you are interested in the program, a thesis proposal. Pay attention to the maximum words. It excludes bibliography. So this is the maximum words for your research proposal, for your thesis proposal, and it excludes your references. In the thesis proposal, you should provide your thesis title, a statement of the research question, literature review, a brief literature review, an outline of theoretical approaches, and a brief discussion of the proposed methodology. Now, if you need assistance with your PhD, with your thesis proposal, please do book for a one-on-one mentorship, or if you have already written your thesis proposal, you can book a review. I'll be happy to review what you've written and provide you with constructive feedback. You need copies of your transcripts for undergraduate and postgraduate, and a CV or resume, 2 pages maximum. Do not go beyond the maximum that is stipulated here. If your CV is 10 pages, you have to find a way to trim it down to 2 pages. You also need evidence of English language competency. And the certificate should not be more than 2 years old. What you can do is, if you don't have the finances to take an English test, perhaps you can get a letter from, it says if you have obtained a degree from a university in an English speaking country, you are exempt from having to provide an English certificate. That's good. You can check if you fall under this category. If your degree was taught in English, perhaps you can send an inquiry. Remember, there's an email address there to check if you can be exempt from taking an English test. You also need academic referees, 2 of them. You are required to include their contact details, and make sure that you have spoken to them and that they will be able to provide a reference on the Google form. Make sure that you speak to them. Don't select someone who will not be able to do this for you, because it's one of the important documents that you need to apply. They say if you are successful, they will be contacting your referees to obtain the references. This is the application form. You can click here to download the application form, fill it out, and then prepare all these required documents, and then send through your application. This is the application process. Currently, the scholarship is open for applications, and then candidates follow the application procedure for either the programs. you can only apply to one program. Do not apply to both programs. Just select one and only apply to one. Then the initial review. An initial review is carried out to ensure applicants meet criteria. Be sure to meet criteria. Don't get kicked out on the initial review. Make sure you aim to pass this initial review so that eventually you can reach the expression of interest and the offer stage. The expression of interest, academic colleagues are invited to express interest in candidates they potentially wish to supervise. So that's the good thing. That means you apply, you don't need to identify a supervisor before you apply. You apply, and then if you pass the initial review, then you get to the expression of interest where a potential supervisor will say they would like to supervise you. Then there's a review committee that decides on shortlisted candidates for interview. You go for an interview and then you get your offer. And then, unfortunately, those who are unsuccessful will also be notified. So basically, that's the timeline and that's the scholarship. Please go and apply. If you need my support, book one-on-one mentorship or book a review. I'll be happy to support you with your application. Be sure to start as soon as possible. You might think you still have a time, but it can be a lengthy process, especially if you haven't written your research proposal yet. All the best with your application.